Gerudo Town in Tears of the Kingdom has a lot of quest lines that are associated with, but I want to cover one in particular, which I'm going to lovingly call the Sphere quest line, where you have to go around the desert, around Gerudo Town, and gather a bunch of spheres that relates to a larger shrine at the end of the quest line. I'm going to show you how to walk through it and all the different rewards you get along the way. Let's get into it. To get started, make sure you make your way into the Gerudo shelter and talk to the lady that's standing in front of one of these orbs. She'll tell you not to touch it and that you need to find 4 tablets. I'm going to show you each location of these tablets. They're all underground in the shelter. The first one is very simple to find. There's going to be a bunch of rocks in front of this particular slab. Blow them up, take a picture. Next, it's going to be inside the little classroom. This one's a little weird. You have to angle it up just right, take a photo, and then onto the third area, which is very close by. Once you go into this particular hallway, you will see this partially broken. You could then pull the slab out of the sand right next to it and then attach it to the slab, take another photo, and onto the final piece, which is actually inside of the dungeon area, or the little prison as they're going to call it. In the corner of the bar, you will see 2 places you can break pots. This will allow you to ascend into the prison, and in the back wall you can take a picture of the final slab. Return to Rotana with all 4 photos. She'll get super excited. She'll actually give you some cash for doing this and then allow you to start the next part of the quest line, where you have to find 7 of these different spheres all throughout Gerudo, all throughout the desert. And you start this quest line by taking the orb to the place that Rotana just went to, which is in the back right of the room. This will start the mysterious 8th quest line, where you have to take all these different spheres with different symbols on them, bring them back to this exact room, and place them on the pedestals that align to the symbol on the sphere. The light blue orb is actually still going to be inside the shelter, which is very nice. Make your way to where they have all the different bunk beds and all their supplies. Go up this ladder, turn around, and in the back corner of this shelf, you'll actually see the orb. Very simple one to get. Obviously, just make your way back to the room and place it on the pedestal. For the purple sphere at the front of the shelter, make your way up the stairs and immediately cut right to get on top of the buildings just to your right. This one I found during the sandstorm, and I actually picked it up and brought it down to the room already. So I don't have an original clip of it, but what you're going to want to do is go to the exact location that I'm standing. There will be a sand pile in this exact spot that you can blow away the fan or one of the Korok leaves, and you'll be able to get the purple sphere and bring it back down to the room. Now, the light purple orb, or the one with 2 dots on the front, is by far the easiest one. What you want to do is make your way back to the bar area, as noticed by this red flag above the door. It's literally just going to be sitting in the corner. Bring it back to the room and put it on the pedestal with 2 dots. Now, the orange orb is actually just inside of the Gerudo Town entrance, which is very nice. It's actually going to be in the exact spot I just pinged for you, right next to where you find the sand seals, up the stairs next to a Gerudo spear. Bring it back down into the room and place it on the one that has the triangle. Now, this is where things start to get a little tricky. For the yellow orb, you're actually going to have to talk to Dahlia, who actually technically owns the sphere because she found it during the sandstorm. Early in the morning, to the right of the main entrance, you will see her just oogling over this little sphere, being in awe of how shiny and pretty it is. You ask her that you want to take it from her, that you need it, and she wants to play a game with you, which is a game of hide and seek with her sand seal doll, which is very easy to find. She gives you a clue as she starts to hide it. It's placed all over the shelter. Very easy to find. When you find it in one of the several locations that she hides it, she'll say that is good enough, and she will give you the permission to take the orb back into the room, where you have to place it on its correct pedestal. The final orb, the dark blue orb that I'm going to call it, is actually in the Karakara Bazaar, the little oasis before you get to Gerudo Town. You'll see it sitting underneath one of these palm trees. Talk to the guys of this caravan, and the guy that actually owns the sphere that found it is missing, so you have to go and find him. Thankfully, he's not too far away. There is a well very close by that leads underneath the entire bazaar. Make your way through this entire cavern, following the path that I showed you that is covered in rocks. You'll actually find our guy just sitting in the corner towards the end, telling you that he fell through one of the little crevices and is stuck down here. He couldn't get out until you blew all the rocks out of the way, and now that he is safe and sound, you can make your way back to the orb, and he will give it to you as a thank you for saving his life and dragging him out of the well. Now, all you have to do from this point on is take it from the Karakara Bazaar all the way back into our little shrine room, put it on the correct pedestal, and you should be done with all of the orbs. Immediately after all the orbs, whatever order you decide to put them in is placed onto the correct pedestal. Rotana will start to talk to you. You will have a small cutscene, and she'll start to tell you that the entire floor is moving. What you'll see is that right where you were standing in the middle, a secret passage will be opened up that you can go into. In this secret room, this secret passage, you will find a giant sphere that you need to take to an entirely different location that Rotana will tell you about after you start reading the tablet on the front. I'm going to skip through that and tell you exactly where you take this giant sphere to its final spot, which is just north of Gerudo town. Thankfully, it's not very far. It is actually in the North Gerudo ruins, towards the more northern side of the ruins. With the giant sphere, you'll come across some of these broken stones that you can drop it directly into, and inside you'll see one of the normal slots that you see inside the shrines that you see throughout the game. Very simple, very intuitive. Once it's dropped into the correct spot, the gate will open and you can go to the final segment of the quest, which is simply just going through this cave system that I'm not going to show you most of it. That way you can enjoy it on your own, but this is the final segment that you have to go through. Once you get to this area, you'll come across a bunch of pillars that lead you into the final room that really brings the full quest line to its peak. If you follow the story throughout this process, throughout these multiple quest lines, you'll understand more of why this is important. But nonetheless, the main thing is you get a bunch of Gerudo weapons, a bunch of nice high value materials, and 300 rupees for all your troubles, which, you know, overall is not a lot, but it does open up a room where you can get a lot of good materials routinely and should respawn every time you have a blood moon. But with the quest finally completed, you can make our way back to Rotana, back where you had left her in the original room with all the different spheres that you put onto the pedestals. You'll give her the full shakedown of what exactly happened, and she will reward you kindly with some pretty nice materials. Mainly a diamond, which could be sold or used for multiple different weapons or get a lot of rupees back. But nonetheless, this quest line is very extensive. It can take a lot of different steps, so I hope you guys found this helpful. If it was helpful, hit the like and subscribe button so I know, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.